guys, my computer decided to go real slow all of a sudden.
It's okay, we're here.
Just me putting off things I want to do, so I'm happy to be here.
Just take a break.
Oh, I know. And a massage. Like, I would have to take a whole spa day. Believe you me.
Take it. I want the cucumbers in my eyes so I can eat them.
Yeah.
And that don't put cucumbers on my eyes again. And the little green stuff on my face.
It's not guacamole.
Oh, is it not?
No.
It's not. I don't think I want to eat it then.
Although they say guac is good.
I feel used to guac. It doesn't taste good like
It's like banana peels are good for your face.
Green tea.
Yeah.
Green tea ties your skin.
You just like wash your face.
Okay,
and use
it
favorite
finally went
banana
online.
peels. It's supposed to be good for it.
Well, they know how to take care of their
I know
skin
you
now.
can.
We were right here
I know
talking
you can
about
kind
it.
of parasitic on the shoes.
Really? I haven't
Oh.
heard that.
Will you do me a favor? Over your right shoulder is a cord. Plug it in over your left shoulder behind
Be
the.
very, very careful or you'll get hit in the head.
See it?
That does come loose.
But it's behind the picture. Is what he's saying. Thank you.
Woo, I
Thank you.
can see.
She's blinded by the
All right. Well, good evening. Throttle Up Biker Bible Study. How we doing tonight? Whew. Oh my goodness! What a beautiful day outside today. Amen.
Amen.
I'm just about over this now. Here you go. You take my phone. It's under TUBBS. So listen. Today was warm and nice outside. I was out here working. It felt good.
It
Listen,
was raining.
not here.
Oh, it rained at my house.
First thing in the morning it was.
It was in our house.
Well, it did not rain here. That's what I'm saying.
Rained in crab orchard.
Yeah. But I'm afraid it will tonight. My hands are starting to swell already, so it's going to rain tonight. Anyway, it's still a beautiful day, and what I was trying to get to was we have a crowd in here tonight, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank y'all for coming back. Good to see some of y'all again. Good to see some of y'all every time. Yeah, right. So we're in the book of Exodus, right? The book of Shemot, the book of names. It's what it's called in Hebrew, right? So we've been talking about the Moses getting direction from God on how to build the tabernacle. We covered that last week. This week we're going to continue on with the building of the courtyard and then the priests' ornaments, the things that they'll wear, things like that. But I just get so excited when I start talking about this stuff, because if you just read the words, you'll skip right over it and not see the meaning of it in our lives. So as we go through this tonight, again, I ask, don't just read the words, don't just listen to my voice. Put yourself in the story. You're walking through the desert, eating dove at night and bread flakes the rest of the day, right? You have to hit a rock to get some water, right? Moses did that. And you keep, passing the same scrub brush tree, right? Because they're out there wandering around for 40 years. We haven't gone that far yet, but you get the idea. They're going to be seeing the same thing over and over again. However, they're following the cloud during the day and fire by night, right? And then they, what's the matter, sweetheart? Oh, you're going to turn the fan? Well, okay, well, be careful, because some people in here won't be able to stand the cold. Yeah, as long as you will, please. Anyway, yeah, just bring the remotes with you. The center one, yeah, that's fine. Oh my goodness, y'all can't see this on camera, but this is just hilarious. So we're gonna have to rename this place to Bible Biker Church and Jungle Gym. What is up with that?
Next thing you know,
Next thing you know, we'll be having kids sleeping out here or something, you know. It's one of those.
tonight. We got
Oh, tonight. That's right. We are. That's right. Anyway, we'll talk about all that here in a minute, but there's a couple things I want to talk about real quick. October 22nd. Don't forget, guys, we have the Harriman 5K, 10K Jeep Rally, Cobbler Fest, and what was supposed to be the remnants of Hooray for Harriman. I hadn't got to sing in a while, so anyway, just know that that's coming up October 22nd. That's a Saturday. Right. We also have a special guest on October 30th. That's a week from the next day. Right, and that's going to be family promise, not family practice like I keep writing down. Family promise. Greg, I was going to call him Greg Norman. I think that's right. Anyway, one of the directors at the Family Promise will be here to talk about what they're doing. Tonight, we're having a couple of youth sleep in here on the concrete floor so that they can do the youth challenge from Family Promise, which is sleep without a bed for one night. So I really appreciate the parents and the caregivers for those that are going to be staying here tonight. Oh, I guess that's me. Anyway, so anyway, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a good time. It's going to be something that we can learn from, because a lot of people don't understand being homeless is not fun. They don't think about the aspect of what do the kids do. So no TV, no internet, no phones, no music. I'm going to keep it slightly warm in here, but not too much. Yes.
Just so everybody out there don't panic, there is a phone in here just in case.
Yeah, there is, and I'll be here. I mean, I live here, so.
No smartphone to play.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
want everybody to be like, oh, they're putting them out there. No, there is a phone.
Yeah, there's a way for emergencies to be acknowledged, and like I say, I live here, so it's not like I'm far away.
Yeah.
Anyway, the challenge was to raise money for Family Promise. We give that to them. I don't know if it's the end of the week or whatever. We'll figure that part out. Can I ask?
Unless we got
This is a good thing. This is a good thing to cover on, especially on Wednesday night, because these are the kind of things that people should know, especially kids should learn. There's more to it. 214 in that stack or all together?
All
All
together.
together.
It's missing one person.
Okay.
Vicky, can you pass that down?
Okay, so 215. Love it. Oh, 216. Yeah. So that's just amazing, since we just talked about this Sunday. I got the packet last Tuesday and forgot about it last Wednesday. I apologize. But I talked to the parents, and they said, yes, by all means, take them for the day. No, that's not how they said it. They said it to, yes, they would sign up for it. So it's going to be a good time.
I thought they asked if you could just keep
Well, that was part of the second set of questions. So, but anyway, I just want to thank everybody for helping us with that on such short notice.
That's what a church is supposed to do.
That's right. That's what a church is supposed to do. Anyway, we also have now another opportunity, and I posted this on Bible Biker Church. I posted this on Rockwood Bikers. Not associated with us yet, however, we will be associated with these people in the very near future. On October 29th, that's the Saturday after Harriman, October 29th, there is a motorcycle ride. It is being supported by the First Baptist Church. I met Joe Story, who is the youth group leader this week, and he gave this to me. So there is a person here that is associated with this young lady, and I'm going to butcher her name, so I'm going to try it real slowly here and say Michelle. Is that how you say her name, Michelle? Yeah, Michelle, okay. So this young lady, Michelle, the way I understand it, has some health issues, and they need to do a memorial ride to help with that specific cost thing that they're doing, okay? So here's just the brief thing. You can see it online, like I say. So it's Saturday, October 29th, 2022, at the Rockwood First Baptist Church, which is just east of downtown, right? In their Family Life Center. The cost is $20 per person. The registration begins at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're serving coffee and Donuts, right? Very good.
You get the donuts.
Now,
You get the donuts.
so that everybody understands, they write the words out, kickstands up at 10 o'clock. Most of us in the biker world don't say that. We say KSU. So in case you ever hear me say or write KSU, it's kickstands up. Kickstands up at 10 o'clock with a ride around the lake. Now, there's supposed to be a 2-hour ride. The lake is much bigger than 2 hours. So here's what I think they're going to do. I don't know. But if I was to take off on a ride for 2 hours, I would go here through Kingston, down 58 to Spring City, go across the dam and back. That is about 2 hours. So I think that's what they're going to do. I don't know for sure. I don't have the specifics. Regardless of that, at the end of it, there is a hot dog and hamburger lunch. So they're going to provide food. Very good. So anyway, there's more information on this sheet. I want everybody to know that they can take a look at this. I'll have it out here. But if you go to the Facebook page for Bible Biker Church, it is on there already. That, again, is another way that we can help somebody, okay? Just be aware there are more and more things coming up because now people are finding out that we're here. And because of that, we get calls and notifications, and we can't do everything, but we're trying. Okay, yes, ma'am?
I talked to Mimi's today.
Yes?
To see if they will put Bible Biker Church on their coffee mugs.
Oh, awesome. For the new ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Talk to Wendell, yeah.
Wendell's gonna get back with
I was teasing.
So,
I was teasing Wendell Monday. We had a pastor's meeting down there, and he came out and said, "Everybody okay? Anything I can get for you?" And I said, "Yeah, you can get back there and start cooking the food." But that was just fun, you know.
but I thought that was a good thing. We might be having it on the coffee cup.
Yeah. All right. Any other new business as we get to start? Okay, because we have 68 verses to go through. I'm just kidding. It's about that many. Anyway, but we're going to get as far as we can. If we can't finish it, we can't finish it. But we're going to get in starting Exodus 27 here in just a minute. All right. Heavenly Father, Lord God, again, we thank you for this place that you've given us. Lord, I praise your name for the people that are coming to hear the truth in your word. Father God, not because they're hearing it from me, but because they're hearing it as it's written. Father, we just praise your name for all the stuff that goes on here. Lord, I thank you for all these hearts and those that couldn't be here tonight, Lord. Keep your hands on them until you bring them back here again in your time. Father, thank you again for everything you're doing to us, through us, and for us in this place. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so I've got other things here I'm going to be showing. I'll pass them around, but they'll be up on the screen. Did you get the thing up already?
Right.
All right, so Exodus 27, verse 1. And I'll get these out here in just a second. And I've got lots of orange on these papers. Yes, it's Tennessee, so I can use orange. Oh, the look I got from the Florida guy. Anyway, but that means there's a lot of things to compare between ESV that I teach out of and the King James. So y'all be ready. If your version of the Bible, everybody open your Bibles to Exodus chapter 27. You don't have one, let us know. We'll give you one. So Exodus chapter 27. So in the ESV, it talks about this. Now, you know, last week, bring up the picture of the first tabernacle. Whew. So I'll speak up a little louder so everybody can hear. So we talked last week about the building, the structure at the far end. That's the tabernacle. As they walk in the front, the priests only will go into what's called the holy place. You'll hear me talk about it tonight. And then the Holy of Holies is a perfect cube in the back. 10 by 10 by 10. Cubits, that is, right? What's 10 cubits? 15 feet, right? Yeah. So anyway, so today now we're going to talk about this fence that goes around what is encompassing the tabernacle and the altars and things like that. So here's what I heard this week when I was watching one of my favorite preachers. He said, we look at it, if we describe a house or we start drawing a house, we draw it from the outside in because that's the way we see things. I got a little house here for rent. Come look at it. Oh, it's a nice little white house. Okay. Walk inside. Oh, this is a nice room, and there's a nice room, and there's a bathroom, you know, and all that. It's all good, right? God's point of view. Who is telling Moses what to write down? God. So from his perspective, what does he see? He comes down into the Holy of Holies and sits on the mercy seat between the two cherubim, and he sees from the inside out, just like he does your heart. So why is Moses writing it in this order? From the furniture that's in the Holy of Holies, the furniture inside the holy place, how to build the Holy of Holies and the holy place inside the tabernacle. Now he's outside. Because that's the way God would see it. I thought that was cool. I never thought about that before. Right? All right, so here we go. So it says in chapter 27, verse 1, it says, you shall make an altar of acacia wood. Now, we've gone over it enough. What does it say in King James? It's a different, it's that wood, right. So, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be square. King James calls it 4 square, right? Same thing. And the height shall be 3 cubits. How tall is it? 7.5 is pretty cool.
I was minded.
However,
I could choose.
However, I would disagree with that, right?
Well, the
'Cause
5 is the long and the
Oh, I
broad,
see.
but the
5
3
is
is
7.5.
the height.
3 is 4.5. I get it. I misspoke. Okay. All right. So she's right. It's in her Bible just that way. Good deal. Good. Verse 2. And you shall make horns for it on its 4 corners. Its horns shall be of one piece with it. I'll come back to King James. And you shall overlay it with bronze. King James says it that the horns shall be the same, and it'll be made of brass. Stop. So they're making this, it's going to be an altar, right? So they're making this altar, and the 4 legs end in a horn, okay? That will point back into the middle. You'll see why in a few minutes. But here's one of the cool things. As you go further and further into the Bible, you'll see this altar be spoken of all the way up through King David. Because at one point in time, they're going to anoint another king, and his little brother gets mad and he runs and he holds on to the horns, because as long as he's holding on to the horns of the altar, he can't be turned down. He can't be refused. He can't. These are all things that are coming way in the future, but here we're going to see right now how they're being built. So these horns, if you think about it, it's not a duck. It's just something that sticks up over the edge of the leg and points back down into the table or the altar. All right, so verse 3, you shall make pots for it to receive its ashes, and shovels and basins and forks and fire pans, and she'll make the utensils out of bronze. King James says it this way. Says, and thou shalt make for it a great, that's the wrong verse. Verse 3, and thou shalt make his pans instead of pots. What's the difference in a pot and a pan? Nothing. In this case, nothing, right. To receive his ashes. His ashes. Think about that for a minute. What's it talking about? His ashes. And his shovels and his basins and his flesh hooks. That's the forks, if you will. Yes, I do. How cool is that? See, every little change in the type of NLT, New Living Translation. So, but you still get the idea, right? They're making this altar with an ash pan we're going to talk about the grate in a minute, and it's so great, I tell you, it really is. Anyway, but it's talking about meat hooks and stuff like that, because this is the place where they will do sacrifice. Okay? Remember a minute ago I said, see how it says his ashes? I wonder what that means. Is that foretelling of what's going to come? We don't know. So here we go. So verse 4 then says, you shall also make for it grating, a network of bronze or brass. And on the net you shall make 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners. And you shall set it under the ledge of the altar. Or, what verse was I in? 5. And thou shalt put, under the compass of the altar. So that's the outside edge, what it's talking about when it says compass. So the ledge of the altar that extends, and the net extends halfway down the altar. Very simply said in ESV. King James, though, says this. It says, even in the midst of the altar. To me, even in the midst just means somewhere near it. But in the ESV, it says halfway down. So, either way. Right? And you shall make poles for the altar, or staves in the King James. Poles of acacia wood, or the other, and overlay them with bronze or brass. And the poles shall be put through the rings, so that the poles are on 2 sides of the altar. Listen to this. When it is carried. Remember I said last week when we're talking about building this huge tabernacle, they had to be able to break it down, to pick it up and move it through the desert. Right? Not that they're going to go very far because it still takes them 40 years to do a 3-day journey. But anyway, so when it's carried, in the King James there says when they bear it. Not bear, but, hold it up. And I wasn't doing that to you. It's okay. I scared you. Verse 8, hollow, you shall make it hollow, right? You shall make it hollow with boards. Same thing we talked about last week. Is it one board or is it a frame, right? As it has been shown to you on the mountain, so shall it be made, or so shall they make it. Everybody okay with the first 8 verses, right?
Yes.
9. That's all for the altar for now. Go on, he says. 9, you shall make the court of the tabernacle. This is the outside area where those of us that are not Jewish could possibly get into. And I say possibly because it's only one little area. They can't make the rest of it, right? Did you go? Are we okay? Got it up on the screen? Okay, good. So you shall make the court of the tabernacle. On the south side, the court shall have hangings of fine twined linen and 100 cubits long for its one side. How long is 100 cubits? 150 feet. Y'all are starting to get this down good, right? So listen to this. It's 20 pillars. Remember, pillars are the boards or the framework that hold up something, okay? And it's 20 bases, or sockets, right, shall be of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. Wouldn't you like to walk up to something in the desert that's holding up a curtain with silver hangings? Be cool. Could be very, very dangerous, right? All right, so, and likewise for its length on the north side, so these are the 2 long sides of the courtyard, okay? So this is the north side, facing east to west, right? East, west, north, south. So north over here, that's 100, south's going to be 100, it's going to say here the same thing, right? So, and likewise for its length on the north side, it shall be hangings 100 cubits long, its pillars 20, and the base is 20 of bronze. But the hooks and the pillars of the fillets shall be silver. We said that already. And the breadth of the court on the west side, that's behind the tabernacle, shall be hangings of 50 cubits. How long is that? 75 feet, half the length, right? All right, so with 10 pillars and 10 bases, the breadth of the court on the front, right, so you're walking in from east to west, the front is that, shall be 50 cubits, 75 feet, the man said. The hangings for the one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits with 3 pillars and 3 bases. Wait a minute, it's 50 cubits across. Why is it saying that it's going to have a gate that's 15? Oh, you got to be able to get in, right? So in this front wall, there's the one entrance into the area or the courtyard for the tabernacle, and it's going to be 15 cubits wide. How much does it leave for the rest of the curtains to be?
It says
Very
20
good.
cubits long.
Well, I know it says that. I wanted to ask people if they can figure it out.
Did he get it right?
She got it. Well, she said it. He got it right. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Good job. Okay, so on the other side shall be 15, and their pillars, and for the gate of the court shall be a screen or a covering, right? A hanging that is 20 cubits long, of blue and purple and scarlet yarns of fine twine linen. I can't talk today. It's going to be embroidered with needlework or wrought with needlework, King James says, right? So we're good with this. So far, everything's good. Because we went over all what this meant last week when we talked about the coverings for the tabernacle itself. But watch this. It shall have 4 pillars, with them 4 bases. All the pillars around the court shall be filleted with silver. I assume that means covered in or leafed on, right? That's what I'm assuming. So, and their bases of bronze, hanging of fine twined linen and bases of bronze. All the utensils of the tabernacle for every use.
No, you skip. You're in 17, baby.
Oh, sorry. All the pillars around the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be silver, and the bases be bronze. I could have swore I said that. I apologize. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, the breadth 50, the height 5 cubits, with hangings of fine twined linen of bases in bronze, right? So all the utensils of the tabernacle for everyday use. All of its pegs and all of the pegs of the court shall be bronze. Can you bring that picture back up? Yeah. First one, because it shows all of the. See this? Fine twine linen.
Yeah.
These will be more expensive than most of us can pay if we go to the Dollar Tree and try to find something that nice, right? It's 7.5 feet tall all the way around. So it's not meant to be a high security area, right? But it means to be able to keep people from looking over and seeing what's going on. Right? Because what's going to happen in here, we'll find out in a little bit, this is where they're going to do the slaughtering of the animals and give the sacrifice, and you'll see all of this. But what we're talking about right now is this guy right here. This is the altar that's going to be used for the sacrifice, offering from sacrifice. So this is it right here. Okay? So it's this perfect little square right in the middle of the courtyard. Okay? Everybody okay with that? Yes, sir.
You know how much trouble that is today to go leaf work on a vehicle or a bike or anything like that.
Right.
Imagine what it was like back then.
No. And it was silver, because the gold is inside the tabernacle.
Or gold.
Right. I agree. I totally agree. He's saying off camera, can you imagine how hard it is today to do gold leaf or silver leaf, what they had to go through back then to make that work? That would be incredibly difficult. All right, so where are we, dear? 20. Nice short little section here. Ready? You shall command the people of Israel that they bring to you pure beaten olive oil for the lamp. I'm getting to that part. But for those of us that cook with olive oil, you have the regular cheap olive oil, and you have the first press of the olive oil. This is even beyond that. This is freshly squeezed like the oranges from Florida. Anyway, so you have this freshly beaten olive oil for the lamp, that a lamp may regularly be set up to burn. What lamps?
Is it the menorah?
Okay, starting with the menorah, from God's point of view, the 7 cups of the menorah inside, plus lamps in the courtyard outside to be able to see. Good job. Yep. They ain't got electricity yet. They got electricity, but not electricity. Anyway, so. 21, in the tent of meeting. Now, I told you last week that we would be calling that eventually. Well, here it is. It's calling it that right now. Yes, ma'am. You okay? So the tent of meeting, and it says outside the veil, but in the King James, it says in the tabernacle of the congregation without the veil. So in the tent of meeting is inside the tabernacle, right? Outside the veil means outside of the Holy of Holies, but in the holy place, right? That is before the testimony. Aaron and his sons shall tend it from evening to morning. That's the menorah. That's what I was trying to get back to. Before the Lord, it shall be a statute forever to be observed throughout their generations by the people of Israel. Is it today?
No.
Why?
Well, they lost it.
Right. When the temple's destroyed in 70 A.D. You were fine. You were fine. But they still do menorah burning even today. That's not this. It's not this one, right? All right. 28. Ready? Then bring near to you Aaron your brother, and his sons with him from among the people of Israel to serve me as priest, or King James says, where does it say? To minister unto me as the priest, okay? Same thing, serve and minister, same thing. Aaron and Aaron's sons, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. That's the 4 sons. No Reuben. No, we'll get back to Reuben in a few minutes. I love it. Anyway, 2. And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory and for beauty. Interesting. Now it's talking about something to make somebody look pretty. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, but you shall speak to all the skillful, or to all of the wise-hearted, King James says, who I have filled with a spirit of skill, or a spirit of wisdom, it says in King James, that they make Aaron's garments to consecrate him for my priesthood, or so consecrate him that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. Right? Verse 4. We good? Everybody okay?
Yep.
Okay, verse 4. We'll see if we can keep up then. And these are the garments which they shall make, a breastplate. I'll show you a picture in just a minute. Not yet. No, it's not a bra. No. An ephod. I'll explain that in a minute. And a robe. Everybody's got that, right? And a broidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle. In the King James, it says a coat of checker work, a turban, and a sash. What in the world is all of this stuff? So if you will go now to the third picture. It's ephod.
This is the first time mine's been different than yours. It says a breastpiece, an ephod, a robe, a coat of checker work, a turban, and a sash.
All right, so here it is. So here is a picture, and we can pass this around so you can actually see it. But I'll point it out up here. So here we go. So he has a robe on. That's this long sleeve piece. Okay. Then he has the ephod on, which is this whole apron looking thing. Then it talks about a breastplate. You can't see it in this picture, but it's this almost square looking thing here with 12 very distinct positions on it for something we'll talk about in a few minutes, right? Then it talks about a hat, cap. It talks about a turban, and then it talks about a sash. This is it around his belt, right? The linen girdle is what that's called, right? So you can see here, this is a very elaborate drawing that somebody did that I pulled down from the internet.
Kind of like a cummerbund.
That's where I was going. Thank you very much. So it's like a cummerbund that we wore into our high school proms, right? This is for Aaron. Correct. I always thought Aaron's scared. I think it's just stretched out on this picture is all. Yeah, I understand that. All right, so you got this, right? So he's wearing a robe. He's wearing the ephod, or the apron-looking thing. He's got this big, oh, good Lord, I've forgotten his name. The big Flavor Flav thing hanging out here in front, right? That has the 12, you'll find out in a minute, 12 stones for the tribes of Israel is what it is. And the breastplate, right? So he's got all this stuff on, and that sash, or the girdle, right? Holding everything in place. All right, well, here we go. So they shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother and his sons to serve me as priest, or to minister unto me in the priest's office. Verse 5. They shall receive gold and blue and purple and I got to turn the page. Hang on. And scarlet yarns of fine twined linen, right? Am I saying that right? I've wondered. Is it twinned or twined? Anyway, so, and they shall make the ephod of gold and blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen, skillfully worked or cunningly worked, or worked of cunning, right? On the King James. 7. It shall have 2 shoulder pieces, not shoulder pads, but shoulder pieces, right? Shoulder pieces attached to the 2 edges so that it may be joined together. And the skillfully woven band, in King James it says, and the curious girdle of the ephod, okay? So this band around them, on it shall be made like it, be of one piece with it, of gold and blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen. You shall make 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel. Okay? Pay attention to this. It says, you will only, that you shall take 2 onyx stones and engrave them with the names of the sons of Israel. 10. 6 of the names on one stone, and the names of the remaining 6 on the other stone, in order of their birth. Who's going to be first?
Joseph.
No. Yes. Yeah. So anyway, starting with Reuben, what's going to be the last one?
Benjamin.
Very good. Very good. All right. Hang on to that for a minute. All right. So now we got the 12 names of Israel on 2 stones. Well, wait. There's more. So it says 6 of the names on one, 6 on the other, 11. As a jeweler engraves signets, or as King James says, something I can't see right quickly here. Because it's on another page. That's why. Engraver in stone. Right. That is the work of the engraver in stone. There we go. Now I'm lost again. 11. Engraver of signets, you engrave the 2 stones with the names of Israel, the sons of Israel. You shall enclose them in settings of gold filigree. Once again, that's the gold around them, right? Hammered out, real nice. So then it says this. Check this out. And you shall set the 2 stones on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as stones of remembrance for the sons of Israel, or sons of a memorial unto the children of Israel, King James says. 13. You shall make settings of gold. Mr. Reza 12. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord on his 2 shoulders for remembrance. So he's got. Well, they read right to left. So yeah, this would be starting with Reuben and ending with Benjamin, right? So 6 over here, 6 over here. Now, what's going to be cool is what they call this piece. Watch this. Watch this. No, it's worse than that. Aaron shall bow to the name. 13. You shall make settings of filigree. 14. And 2 chains of pure gold twisted like cords, and you shall attach the corded chains to the settings. Now, I want to read this in King James, verse 13, because it really is weird sounding. And thou shalt make ouches of gold. What's an ouch? Right? I thought that was a misspelling. I thought it was supposed to be pouches. But no, it's ouches. It's really the word, right? So they make 2 ouches. I've lost my place. Out of gold. And 2 chains of pure gold at the ends. Of wreathen work shalt thou make them, and fasten the wreathen chains to the ouches. I just think it just sounds funny to me, you know. Anyway, so they got these 2 stones in gold settings, and they got these chains that attach them then from there to the edge of the breastplate, or the ephod. Sorry. 15. You shall make a breastpiece of judgment in skilled work, or in cunning work, right? In the style of the ephod you shall make it, of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet yarns, and fine twined linen. You shall make it. 16. And it shall be square. 4 square, it says in King James, right? And doubled, a span its length, and a span its breadth. Okay, we go. You shall set in it 4 rows of stones. 4 rows of stones that will wind up being the 12 tribes of Israel. So there's what it would look like. Except whoever made this drawing made it backwards. Hebrew reads right to left. They've made that one left to right. So just know it's, you can see a mirror image of that. So it says this, right? So you shall set in it 4 rows of stones, a row of sardius, a row of topaz, carbuncle shall be the first row, and the second row of emerald, sapphire, and diamond, and the third row of jacinth, and the King James calls jacinth ligure, right? An agate and an amethyst, and the 4th row of beryl, onyx, and jasper. My former wife, would have loved this because she was a rock hound. And she has probably every one of these sitting in a cabinet somewhere. She loved this kind of stuff. So here is the 12 tribes of Israel represented by 12 precious gems. Where did they get the precious gems?
From the Egyptians.
From the Egyptians trying to get rid of them, right? along with the silver and the gold and the all that, right? So now they've made this breastplate with these rocks on it, these precious stones. Can you imagine how heavy that thing's going to be? I'm not talking about a boulder. I'm talking about just a rock. I mean, you can look at the size of what's going around, right? But it's some of them very, very pretty, very, very pretty, right? Very, very pretty. Anyway, so of diamond, third row, got it, jasper. They shall be set in gold filigree. Once again, something's going to be very, very heavy, right? They shall be set in gold enclosings, according to King James. Same thing. There shall be 12 stones with their names according to the names of the sons of Israel. They shall be like signets or like bracelets or like big rings, right? Each engraved with its name for the 12 tribes. So now you've got these beautiful, precious stones, and somebody's going to carve into them the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. So Benji will have his own rock. You think he's going to throw it at Sandwich?
He finally made it to be a rock star.
Yeah, he made it to be a rock star. Very good. Anyway, so moving on. What about 22? Yep. You shall make for the breastpiece twisted chains like cords of pure gold. And you shall make for the breastpiece 2 rings of gold, and put the 2 rings on the 2 edges of the breastpiece. And you shall put the 2 cords of gold in the 2 rings at the edges of the breastpiece. And the 2, can you imagine how much this thing's going to weigh? All this gold, even if it's just leaf, it's going to be heavy. Bunch of rocks, bunch of gold chain. He truly is a rock star, right? It really, really is. Now, but we're not done yet. We got more to talk about. This is just Aaron. This is not his sons. This is just Aaron. And 2 cords, the 2 ends of the 2 cords you shall attach to 2 settings of the edge of the breastpiece. 25. The 2 ends of the cord you shall attach to the 2 settings of filigree. There we go. So to attach it on the front of the shoulder pieces of the ephod. 26. You shall make 2 rings of gold and put them at the 2 ends of the breastpiece. Oh, we didn't show the picture of it, did we? That's okay. We'll come back to it. And on the inside edge next to the ephod. And you shall make 2 rings of gold and attach them in front of the lower part of the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod, and its seams, and at its seam above the skillfully woven band of the ephod, or the curious girdle of the ephod. Right? Okay, here we go. 28. And they shall bind the breastpiece by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, so that it may lie on the skillfully woven band of the ephod, so that the breastpiece shall not come loose from the ephod. Okay. Whew. So those are the stones. Can we go back to the picture of the ephod? I'll try to explain what all that just said. That was a mouthful. It's hard to see in this picture up here, but the breastpiece is right here, right? So it's this big square, and inside of it are these 12 rectangles in 3 rows of 4 columns. There's 4 rows of 3 columns. Anyway, whatever. There's 12 of them. And it has attachments that go from the corners here up to the top of the ephod at the edge of the shoulder piece, right? There's 1 there and 1 there. Then it says from there down to the sash, or down to the girdle, right? So that's that piece right here, the cummerbund, right? So it's strapped to him, top and bottom. Okay?
Thank you.
Woo! Got 12 stones in there, but still there's more.
It's like a golden stone bid.
Golden stone bib? Where do you see that?
That's what it looks like. It's a golden.
Oh, that's what it looks like. I didn't hear that part.
A bit of a golden jewel.
There's a song in that.
Yeah, there is.
It's going to be in G. I don't care what you say.
We'll have to run Dolly.
We'll work it
Dolly
out.
write it.
Anyway, so you get the idea? This thing's going to be heavy. It's going to have all this stuff on it, right? And it's for, remember, I said it's going to be for glory and beauty, right? God said that. Well, that doesn't make him beautiful, but the piece of clothing is going to be beautiful. Would you agree?
Yes.
I mean, it's going to have all this pretty stuff on it.
And it's 733 says it could be very comfortable.
Yep. I have a picture of the breastplate. Put it up there. I forgot. See, I do all this stuff and I forget. Okay. 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 No, that's fine. Where am I? Oh, the 28. Thou shalt bind the breastpiece to the ephod. 29. So Aaron shall bear the names of the sons of Israel in the breastplate of judgment on his heart when he goes into the holy place. Now let me steer you into one specific thing here. When it calls out the holy place here, it's not just talking about the outside of the tabernacle. It's also talking about the Holy of Holies. It doesn't call it that ever in this that we're about to read, but I know it's what they're talking about in a moment because of what has to happen, right? So here we go. So he shall wear this when he goes into the holy place to bring them to regular remembrance before the Lord. Hey, Lord, remember these guys? You got 6 over here, 6 over here. Here's the 12 tribes from them, right? Of course, God knows that, but that's what it's for, right? And in the breastpiece of judgment, you shall put the Urim and Thummim. What? What's a Urim and Thummim? Well, I'll tell you, it's spoke of. The Urim is spoken of 8 times in the Bible, and the Thummim is talked about 6 times in the Bible. And from all accounts that we can gather, since we don't have an actual photograph of the breastplate, Urim and Thummim means light and, oh, I wrote it down because I knew I'd forget the last word. Perfections, yes, that's the word. Thank you. Mine doesn't say that. Does yours say it? Okay, down at the bottom, yeah. So it's the light and perfections. This is what some of the scholars believe. I don't know what to believe because I haven't researched this much. But there are verses in the Bible that talks about receiving the will of God and understanding His Word by reading the Urim and the Thummim because they can light up and will tell you yes, no, things like that. Like a Simon game or, you know what I'm doing when I do this, right?
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah, see?
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I read this. I'm like, what's that little game that you play where you pull the papers apart? Do you like being here? Yes, that's right. But this is something they just speculate because of what it says, and the will of God shall be displayed by the Urim and the Thummim, or Thummim, or however you say it. I don't know how to say it. But how cool is that these things that we can't fathom, they had thousands of years ago for God to be able to speak to somebody. And Aaron is supposed to have it on him when he goes into the holy place. We good? Yeah, we'll see. Let's go on. And they shall be on Aaron's heart, so it goes on that breastplate. When he goes in before the Lord, thus Aaron shall bear the judgment of the people of Israel on his heart before the Lord regularly. Now, we don't find out for another book yet of when that regularly thing is. It's once a year. Once a year, right? So here we go. So, thus Aaron shall bear the judgment. That means all 12 tribes, all 2.5, 3 million people. Anyway, so all of these people's sins will be on him as he walks into the Holy of Holies. What does that give you a picture of? That's right. Hey, anytime I ask a question, Jesus never ever.
I'm trying to figure out if this is Hebrew on here.
Probably is. It looks like a bunch of squiggles.
On these rock things.
It's probably their name in Hebrew letters. I bet you're
Is
right.
it?
Probably.
Cause that doesn't
Yes.
look like that.
Well, once again, they do it from right to left. Start over here. Okay, then I don't know.
That's why I was wondering.
I don't know. I know it's the names of the tribes on the stones. So. All right.
Sorry.
31. You shall make the robe of the ephod all blue, and it shall have an opening for the head in the middle of it. Here comes my favorite word. 31. Okay. So, 32. It shall have an opening for the head in the middle of it, with a woven binding around it, around the opening. It's like this. Look, see? This right here right? That's what it's talking about. Everybody okay? You stick your head through it, right? But watch what it says. Like the opening in a garment, so that it may not tear. But on King James it says, finding woven work around the whole as it were the whole of a habergon. Right. Okay, my note here, I have circled that word habergon and wrote out here, like a chainmail suit of armor. They would know what that is, right? That's a habergon. No, I wouldn't have known that, but I had to go look it up. So you're right, like a piece of chainmail. That it not be rent or not be torn, right? 33. And beneath, upon the hem of it, thou shalt make pomegranates. Anybody know what pomegranates are?
Mm-hmm.
I love them. I don't like the rind, but I love the seeds, right? Of blue and purple and scarlet around about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about. So at the bottom of this garment, there are to be embroidered pomegranates and gold bells. But it's the next lines that will freak you out if you've never studied this. Listen to this. Where am I? 34. A golden bell and a pomegranate, around the hem of the robe. And it shall be on Aaron when he ministers, and its sound shall be heard when he goes into the holy place. Again, I say holy of holies. And when he comes out, so that he does not die. Let me repeat that. They are sewing bells specifically onto his garment, and they ring constantly as he goes in and he comes out, so that he is known to the presence of the Lord that he's coming in. Not that he's going to spook God, but this is something that has to happen. Now, we'll come to another part later where there is another bell that he has to have tied around his ankle, and he has to ring it constantly. And here's why. If it ever stops ringing, he's dead. They have to pull him out by the rope because nobody else can go in there. So when you start reading about these gold things, about making noise constantly, that's why. Right? The rest of the people have to know that he's still alive. Otherwise, they have to assume he's dead. And it is written in scriptures that some of the priests do die because they didn't do something right. Remember, I just said they had all of the weight of the 12 tribes of Israel on them when they went in. If they're not pure of heart, they don't survive. This is a man that has to be pure of heart to be able to survive going into the Holy of Holies. Okay? You shall make a plate of pure gold and engrave on it the engravings of a signet, holy to the Lord. And it's capitalized in King James as holiness to the Lord. Did I get the right place? 36? Okay. Mm-hmm. And you shall fasten it to the turban or to the mitre. That's what they called it, right? Mitre in the King James. And by a cord of blue. It shall be on the front of the turban. It shall be on Aaron's forehead. And Aaron shall bear any guilt or any iniquity from the holy things that the people of Israel consecrate as their holy gifts. It shall regularly be on his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord. So I take this as if this is a look. It's not, but go with me. It's a little box where they write down all of their sins and iniquities and put it in that box so he carries them with them, right? Now, that's not truly what it says there, but that's the image I get. Because it says you make a plate of pure gold. Plate, not a box, right? It shall regularly be worn on the forehead, right? Okay, so 39, you shall weave the coat in checker work of fine linen. I think your Bible said that earlier, right? Mm-hmm. And you shall make a turban of fine... I'm sure it says fine twine line, right? Or fine linen, right? And you shall make a sash embroidered with needlework. Verse 40. Woo, here we go. For Aaron's... Now, that's all just for Aaron. Because here it says for Aaron's sons. What's Aaron's sons' names? Not Reuben, no. We read them earlier, right? Yeah, it's Aaron, Nadab, Abu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Yeah. Not Babu. No. Anyway, so 40. For Aaron's sons you shall make coats and sashes and caps. But in King James it says Shall make them girdles and bonnets and coats. Right? Okay. All right. Why? Why do we have to have all this stuff on Aaron's sons? You shall make them for glory and beauty. Once again, so people know who they are as being a presence of the Lord. 41. And you shall put them on Aaron your brother and his sons with him, and shall anoint them and ordain them and consecrate them, that they may serve me as priests. Right? You shall make them from them, make for them linen undergarments. Well, that's nice. Breach. Well, I was going to get to that because it's in orange here, so I was going to go. And if that wasn't good enough, when you ain't too big for your breeches, that's the word it says there in the King James.
Trousers.
Yeah, trousers right. So these undergarments to cover your. I love this. In my version, it says naked flesh, and in the King James, it says in the nakedness. Right. Got to turn the page to see that. Not that I want to see the nakedness, but what? It is.
Are you naked?
No,
Yeah, turn the page. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
I love it.
Stop, Savior.
Yeah. So here we go. So it says, to cover their naked flesh, they shall reach from the hips to the thighs. And in the King James, it says, from the loins unto the thighs. Okay? So the hips to the thighs. Right. And they shall be on Aaron and his sons when they go into the tent of meeting. So that's the whole tabernacle, including the front room, right? Or when they come near the altar to minister in the holy place, lest they bear guilt and die. Or King James says that they shall bear iniquity and die, right? Right. This shall be statute forever for him, for his offspring after him. We got through all those verses. I tried not to rush because there's things we have to talk about. If you would please put up the tabernacle picture again. Please. Then I'll ask you a question. The first one. Tabernacle and move. Right, so here we go. So here's the whole thing, right? We got 7.5 foot tall, 150 foot long. We got 20 feet across here, this gate, and we got a total of 75 feet across here and across the back, right? Back here is the tabernacle, the first room, the holy place. The back room is the Holy of Holies. It talked about the altar that had those hooks at the top, right? That's these things sticking up here. And it has a web and ashes fall through, and you take the ash pan out, right? So this is where the sacrifice will be done. And what we didn't see a whole lot of yet, it will probably be next week when they go in here, is this piece right here. Can anyone guess what this basin is here for before we get into it next week? Good try. No.
Was it to wash?
Yes. They can't go into the holy place with dirty feet. And they're in the desert. They're going to have dirty feet. So this is to wash their hands and feet before they go in. Very good.
I'm
Very
supposed to
good.
get 100.
So here we go, Gentiles. That's us, right? You can go into this gate, and the priest is going to meet you right there and check out what you got with you. Do you have a clean goat with no blemishes? Do you have an oxen that doesn't have things under its feet? You know, all this kind of stuff. And then they take it away from you, and they slaughter it on these little tables, and they burn it here in this pit. Now, the blood that they take from this, we'll find out, actually goes into the holy place. And then once a year, it will go into the Holy of Holies. So there's a whole lot more coming. But those two chapters was just about the furniture out here and what the dudes have to wear. Right? Now, I don't know about you, but if I try to picture myself doing one little piece of this, I would freak out. Because this is God saying, this is what you must do, or he's going to die. Okay. Symbolism time. This ash pit and all, right, where they sacrifice the animals, this gets taken care of by Jesus. Right? So this whole front section is now gone. Then this wash basin, you ever read the story where Jesus washes the feet of the disciples? get some symbolism out of that about how the physical washing of the feet is done, but how about the washing of the heart? Because the sacrifice has already been done, your blood has been cleansed by the blood of Jesus, right? Same thing. Now, when you go into this holy place, you come in reverence or in awe of Jesus, and then you can go back where the Holy of Holies is because Jesus took the place of the holy seat, or the mercy seat, of the mercy seat. So you have the ability, because all they could do was ask the priests to go in and speak to God for them. And because of what Jesus did for us, we can now talk directly to God through him. So I don't have to drag this thing through the desert no more. How many of you are still dragging things through your desert? Because you think you have to do this to be able to talk to God. Or you have to do that because you think you aren't clean enough. No. All of it's been done. We have the direct access. We have the mercy seat, which is Jesus. How cool is that? How wonderful when we see all this together, what they had to do thousands of years ago just to be able to say, I'm sorry I thought about that, God. I'm sorry I took that extra chicken leg. Yes, sir.
This was moved every few days.
Right, and every sixth day they couldn't move it on the seventh day? Yeah, so every 6 days they had to move this.
Every 6 days.
Because they're still trying to get back to the promised land.
Imagine all the work that it goes into just setting it up and tearing it down.
Yeah, I was thinking too, as you were talking about the height of the outer wall.
Yep.
It's more like a privacy screen.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Fence. And like, if you think about it, they're in the desert. There ain't nothing out there. So really all they're doing is they're setting a place aside. Like the symbolism of setting a place aside
Yes,
for God.
absolutely. Now, the only thing in the desert is the acacia tree, acacia bush. And I know, Mom, you weren't here last week. This is the explanation I gave. If you picture in your mind, you're on the desert of the Serengeti. You've got Kilimanjaro rising up behind you. That tree that all the lions pack themselves under, it has a big canopy, that's acacia wood. That's the tree it's talking about. The only thing that grows out there.
Speaking like he did of the setting aside, I got a question, especially some of us here that are a little bit older. You remember setting the extra table for the
I do not remember my family doing that, but I do remember visiting other families who set an extra place and kept a chair at major meals. Yes. Yeah. Now, there's two schools of thought on that. We would say that's the place for Jesus, the honored one, right? If you go back to the Hebrews, that's not who it's for. Who's it for? Yes. Say it again. Aaron, right? The one that's wearing this heavy gold stuff. He should pay on his way in. No, I'm kidding. That's just joking. Questions? Yes, ma'am. What?
Why do they have that? What's wrong with this tree?
Because it never tells about sandals.
Oh,
I guess.
thought they were saying something wrong with
No,
it.
no.
I was gonna say he's missing his hated.
Mrs. what?
Hated.
Hey, dudes.
Yeah, this.
Oh, Lord, please
I
turn
don't
the
know
camera
what
off
it is.
before it gets changed.
Oh, it's the type of shoe?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm out of it, people. I don't know anything.
We used to call them Jerusalem cruisers.
I have to get special made shoes. So, I don't know the shoe size. Any other questions? Is this good? You enjoy this? Did you take my advice and look at it from a bigger picture? Not, try not to just read the words, but live the story. Okay? I encourage you, read it and read it again. You'll get something different out of it every time. And I like reading out of different versions in here. That's cool. Those different words. All right? Well, don't forget Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. We're going to have a good time on Sunday morning. I've been thinking about what we're going to do. It's going to be fun. And then Sunday afternoon, we have Celebrate Recovery. Recovery beginnings at 4 o'clock. And then next Wednesday here. But also, for those of us that know, Friday night, 6 p.m. Those of you who don't know, we're having a jam session anyway, so it's going to be guys in?
Like I
Let me turn off the TV. Turn off the.
I was